We definitely need like community economic sanctions on these folks.
An online leak shows donors who contributed to Canada's Freedom Convoy protest movement through Give, Send, Go, and it appears to show that hundreds of Manitobans contributed to the cause. Now, counter-demonstrators in Winnipeg are calling for what they call community economic sanctions to be placed on businesses who funded aspects of the protest movement through the crowdfunding site.
They are business people, and it's going to be up to us to decide who we do business with.
That's Omar Kinnerath with Defend Winnipeg. The group organized a counter-demonstration on the steps of the Manitoba Legislature this past weekend, calling for Freedom Convoy protesters to go home. And now the group is calling for further action when it comes to businesses who supported the movement.
Realize what you're funding. You are funding a white supremacist insurrection in Canada. You are funding a foreign-funded intervention to destabilize this country and your neighbors. And it's all done under the guise of virulent nationalism.
Data from the leak, which appears to come from the hacker group Anonymous, according to British newspaper The Guardian, shows that Manitobans donated more than $140,000 to the movement through Give, Send, Go, with donations ranging from $5 to $2,000. Some of the emails in the leak are associated with Manitoba businesses, with a $1,000 donation appearing to come from an email associated with Western Turbo and Fuel Injection Limited in Winnipeg, and another $1,000 donation coming from an email associated with JD Penner Limited, a landscaping company out of Oak Bluff. It's also possible for people to end up in the data as a result of a donation without their knowledge, which is what Sky Bridges, CEO of the Winnipeg Foundation, is claiming happened to him. That's when it comes to a donation of $75 made in his name. In a statement, he said, quote, "The news about the donation made in my name came as a surprise. In looking into this, someone from my household used my credit card without my permission," end quote. He said he could not comment further due to the fact it's a personal situation. Caleb Brown is one of the co-organizers of the Freedom Convoy in Winnipeg, and on the phone Thursday, he says the leak is a massive violation of people's privacy in Canada and abroad. He says people should not be ostracized for putting support behind the movement, which he maintains is a peaceful one. He also stressed that the local Freedom Convoy site established at Memorial and Broadway is not using cash from the Go Send Me campaign, saying previously the group is not trying to cause a disturbance, but to call for mandates to be lifted and to show support for truckers. However, some say Canada is not that split on the issue.
Like, people talk about Canada's divided, but I'm not sure I buy that premise, right?
Brian Peeler is a political scientist and an instructor at the University of Manitoba, and he says while those at the blockades may be loud, they may not have as many people standing behind them as they think.
There's polling that shows that well over 2/3 of the population is not in support of this movement, that they support vaccinations. So I'm not sure Canada is as divided as some people may make it out to be.
Peeler says while it's difficult to predict the future, he says even after the pandemic is over and mandates are lifted, it's possible there could be a lasting effect as a result of the movement.
Predict the future. I mean, sort of living in the moment thinking about it right now, it definitely seems that, people are going to hold grudges. People aren't going to get along. Neighbors might not be speaking to neighbors. But I think, once this, you're right, you're absolutely right. This is going to end at some point. And we are going to get back to normal, whether it's a new normal or whatever. Hopefully this fades and people will be able to get along better. But, it's kind of trite, but, only time will tell.
In Winnipeg, Morgan Majeski, City News.